What's going on, Jaunty fam? I'm coming at you again with another solo podcast where I really liked looking at TikTok videos last time, and I wanted to keep doing it. And I found a few videos that I thought were interesting. And today's theme is about men and women, and specifically women and men's thoughts on men and relationships and dating. And so I I think a lot of jaunty people come to jaunty and looking into social intelligence because they're looking for love and they're looking for connection, and a lot of the time, I can really relate to that experience, especially since just 8, 9, 10 years ago, I was very, very shy, very socially awkward and anxious. And all I wanted was to be able to make connections with people. And particularly, I wanted a girlfriend. I wanted somebody who loved me. And I didn't know how to talk to girls, and I didn't know how to connect with people who are strangers. And I had a handful of friends that I had since school, and it was hard for me to really get a connection. And that's what ended up getting me into this whole jaunty thing and into the social intelligence realm and learning personal development and all these skills that we teach here. So um, I wanted to take a look at a couple videos right here. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. Share the sound.
Talk to them. The biggest misconception.
All right. So here's the first one.
Biggest misconception men have about women.
Biggest misconception men have about women. Biggest misconception men have about women. This is from a woman dating with Elsa. So she's a professional dating coach, published author, and she's got an Instagram with dating advice. So let's look at what she has to say.
You think we don't want to be approached, when in reality, most women are dying for you to come up to them. The biggest misconception.
Ooh, okay. So think we don't want to be approached, but in reality, women are dying for you to come up to them. Well, I would say from the perspective of, a jaunty person, somebody who approaches people and has great conversations and has made plenty of friends, gotten dates, business connections just from approaching strangers. I would say, yeah, people do want to be approached, but they want to be approached in a good way. That's the stipulation, right? When it comes to women being approached, right? A lot of the time we associate, and I think people that I talk to associate when a woman is approached with with being catcalled, and we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to make her feel uncomfortable or targeted, like you're hunting. And everybody wants to be approached by somebody who's a genuine person and awesome and interesting and can make their day. It's just a matter of how you do it, right? If you can do it from a positive perspective and from a positive intention, yeah, totally. But of course, people have their doubts about this. And this guy here actually has a response
With me,
to his
fellas.
video. So
You think we don't want to be approached, when in reality, most women are dying for you to come.
Sing it with me, fellas.
So that's cap, right? Women don't want to be approached. Um, and I think a lot of this is perpetuated in media, that because silent, or not silent, because a small majority or small minority who are louder and more vocal with their approaches with women, and that are really not so great, right? They're creepy and they're harassing, right? Women don't want to be harassed, but they do want to be approached, right? I think a lot of people have this mindset that, you know, we want this dream or this fantasy of how we meet people. It's like, I don't want to meet somebody online. I want to meet somebody the organic way. I want to meet somebody the natural way that people meet, right? And we have this fantasy that we've built up based on years and years of watching romantic comedies where, you know, maybe you're walking down the hall and you bump into each other and drop everything and you go to pick things up and you know, touch hands and you look at each other for the first time, right? It's this weird fantasy of what natural means. But really, I mean, the most natural way that we approach or that we meet people is through approach. You know, going into a situation, right? Maybe you're at a party that you got invited by your friend and there's somebody there that you think is interesting. You start chatting with them, or, you know, you think they're attractive and you start flirting with them, right? That's a very natural way to start meeting people and get people into your life. Same goes with, you know, walking down the street and saying, hey, I thought you're cute and I wanted to say hi. Are you single? Right? And being able to bring in that, you know, that intention without hurting anybody, without trying to show that you're dominating them, you're dominating the situation, trying to get something out of them. Absolutely, I think people want to be approached. But, you know, obviously with this guy and a lot of these people in the comments, right there, when he said cap, I felt that, right? Dying to be approached by attractive men, right? Saying it's like, oh, they only want to be approached if it's an attractive person. Well, what is an attractive person? And is an attractive person just a physical, you know, somebody who's like physically attractive, or are they somebody who's attractive emotionally? And their vibe, right? They have a good vibe. They have confidence. They are interacting with people in a positive way, right? People like them. That's attractive. Um, I'm curious, why can't they come up to us? Well, they can, right? They can approach. I think traditionally, just it's more of a masculine trait, or not necessarily masculine trait, but it's like more of a thing that men do, right? Just in throughout history, throughout our evolution, you know, in most mammal species, it's like the male is the one who's initiating that or trying to get the attention of the female. So Kaepernick, oh, I love that. So these people are definitely a little upset. But hey, you know, I think it's you base your opinion on your experiences, and maybe they had one or two experiences that was bad, or maybe they don't know how to approach people. Okay, I don't want to drone on about this one. Let's go into the next.
Anyways, this woman.
This is
Someone just tagged me in a
TikTok
video that I.
Chernobyl Samurai. I don't really know her name, but she does videos about dudes. You know, she works with men. I think she works in construction or something. She works with men, and she's always talking about the bros and the men and like how they act and what they do, and how to interact with men. And, you know, people love her. You're my favorite creator, this person says. Common sense is not that common, but you have it. 100% of divorces begin with marriage. I love that. I love listening to you. I have so much respect for you. It's unreal. Straight to the point. I rarely can I argue your views. Much respect. And, you know, I imagine a lot of the people who watch her videos are men. Look at all these. These are all dudes. These are all guys watching. Yeah. Okay. So what does Chernobyl Samurai have to say about men don't 90-10? What does this mean?
feel like I need to address, so I apologize that I look like a poodle, but I just took my hair out of a bun. Anyways, this woman said that men will be in a relationship with a woman for 5 to 10 years and never propose, but then they'll get out of that relationship, propose to the next woman, and be married within 6 months. Now, another woman interjects and says that's because men believe in this 90-10 rule, which means that the person they were originally with had 90% of what they wanted, and that other 10% was lacking. So what they do is they chase after that 10%, and when they find a woman that has that 10%, they get it in their head that it's 100%, and so they marry that person.
Okay, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this 90-10 rule, like that you're with somebody for a long time and they have 90% of what you're looking for, and but they don't have 100%, so you're not going to commit to them. And then once you get out of that relationship, you find somebody who has that 10% and you latch onto it and you make that commitment. Now, I would say that a lot of the time people get into relationships not knowing what they want, or they commit to somebody who doesn't meet all the check marks, the check boxes, right, of what they want in a relationship, and then they don't get to that full commitment of marriage because of that. But I don't know if necessarily they have like the FOMO, and so they're gonna get with the next person who has that, right? I think maybe being in a relationship starts to expose being in a relationship with somebody for a long time exposes what you need or what you want, what your values are, and what your deal breakers are. And I think especially after a long relationship and having a breakup around that long relationship, like a hard breakup where you've got this emotional connection, you've got you know what you want, and it's just you've invested so much time, you're probably thinking, I know exactly what my deal breakers are, I know exactly what my values are, and I'm going to filter people for that afterwards. Okay, let's continue on to what she's saying.
So I'm sorry, but I call cap on that shit. I feel like that is a way for you to justify the fact that you were in a relationship for 5 to 10 years and a man decided he did not want to commit to you. That doesn't mean he's chasing after some fucking hypothetical 10%. That means you weren't it. That's what that shit means.
Okay, kind of same thing I was saying.
Theory that all of our relationships are either 5 months or forever. And let's be honest, you know whether it's 5 months or forever. The difference is people get comfortable in a relationship and they make that 5 months last. And that 5 months will go on for 5 years and 10 years. But there's a reason that someone can be with you 10 years and they don't want to marry you. It's because it was a 5 monther that you just got comfortable in and you never fucking left. And you can say, oh, well, you should have gotten married. Okay, well, people get married all the time, but then they also get divorced. That was a 5 monther that you tried to make forever. That's just what that shit is. So I don't think we can go after men and be like, well, they're stupid and they don't know that they had 90% with me, but she's only 10%. No, bitch, he didn't want to be with you. He didn't want to be with you. Because if he had wanted to be with you, that 10% doesn't fucking matter. You were everything. Those flaws were everything. Someone just tagged me in a.
Okay, so I guess, wow, I really like what she said. I think the like the short term, the 5 month relationship that you extend out into 5 years, right? It's like it's a short term relationship. It's something where you realize you don't have the same values, or you're not going in the same direction in life. Um, we like to extend that. We like to think, oh, it'll blossom, it'll turn into something without necessarily putting in work, or maybe it's just not going to be that relationship, right? That's not never how you saw your relationship. I definitely think she has a point there, and I think like the saying, what she said about the person saying, I had that 90% and you want to go for that 10%. I think that's a bit of a justification. And it's also something that's kind of like, well, give yourself some credit. Like, just because you're not a match, you're saying you're almost a match, and so that's good enough. Like, why settle? Like, why would even the person, even the I feel like that's just the justification for that person, to feel better about themselves. But like, why would you want to settle for somebody who's not going to be the right person for you? And yeah, we live in a culture where we have over 50% divorce rate, and marriage is supposed to be forever. I think I think it's I think it's kind of sad that we do try to push and force these relationships, um, either without putting in work to them or deciding this is what it's going to be. I think when you decide you're going to get married, you decide it, and you start acting. I remember this great speech. It was from a pastor, actually, that I heard, where he talked about, if you want to get married, you act like a wife or you act like a husband. You Before you even get to that, meet that person. If I know I'm looking for a relationship that will turn into a marriage, that will turn into a family, kids, and everything. I know that that's where I am in my life. And I know that 5 years ago, I thought that's what I wanted, right? And 5 years ago, I was looking for a girlfriend. I was looking for that 5 month relationship, that would turn into a 5 year relationship or a marriage or something like that. But I realized for myself that's not how it works. It's when you're ready, and that's what you look for, and that's what you want to do. And and you can get into a relationship that is a short-term relationship like that, and you both grow together and decide that's what you want, and then it becomes a marriage, and it becomes that long-term committed relationship. And that you see that with like people who get married right out of high school, and they've been together for their entire lives, and they'll never, they never leave each other. That's great. But I feel like, you know i i I've met a lot of, I've gone on dates where I meet I meet this lady, and she's looking for a boyfriend, and I'm looking for a wife. And there's a disconnect there of what your intention is. Like, I know that I want a family down the line versus, no, I know why I want a family. And that's what I'm looking to build right now. And doesn't mean that I'm going to have kids right now. It means that I'm going to have a family, or I'm going to start the foundation of a family and then have kids when the time is right. But it's going to be from that mindset. It's going to be from that intention the whole time. And yeah, I think Chernobyl Samurai, for anybody who's in, who liked that video and has TikTok, I definitely recommend checking her out. She's got some really funny videos about guys. I think she's like grew up with brothers, and her dad's really a big influencer in her life, and she works with a lot of dudes. She talks about how to communicate with men, um, from a very practical standpoint, not like she's a psychologist or anything like that. It's like dudes are just, their own thing, where we think a certain way, and we're very simple minded. So okay, here's another video about men making friends, and
work with.
from the perspective of a man. He's looking for, he's looking to make friends, and he's very apprehensive. He's saying it's different. The experience is different from men to women. And let's see what we think about this. It's been a minute since I watched it.
Girls really don't understand how different it is for them to make friends as opposed for guys to make friends.
So his title is Making Friends as a Guy in Your 30s. Okay. He says, girls, it's different from making friends than it is for guys.
So as a guy, you make most of your friends in high school or college. And if you miss that window or you move somewhere new, you're pretty much forced to make friends with the people that you work with. And half the time, they're either twice your age or they're weird as fuck. Girls like to make a lot of their friends when they're drunk in a club in the bathroom. For guys, this is where we just really beat the shit out of each other. Sometimes girls suggest going on Bumble BFF to meet friends. And though the concept of Bumble BFF is great, to be honest, the thought of swiping through countless pictures of men to see if we have the same hobbies makes me want to kill myself. Girls say
There's a lot to unpack. I want to pause this now before it gets into more. Okay, so So making friends after school is actually really hard, right? It's one of the things that one of the difficulties that I've noticed a lot when it comes to uh, a lot of my clients or a lot of people in the Jaunty community who's looking to make friends, right? It's like, well, I had a ton of friends in college. And then after college, everybody moved away from each other. And either, I just hang out with the people I work with. And, those are people that you're stuck with. Those aren't people that you chose to be around necessarily, right? Those are people, those are friendships of convenience. And, that sucks when you live a life that's based around your relation with where your relationships are based around convenience of this person is around me, so I'm going to have a relationship with them versus this person is a person I want to be around, therefore they're going to be I want them to be my friend. um yeah, that's a sucky place to be because nobody wants to just settle for the circle you've got or the people you associate with, right? You want the people who love you and care for you for who you are, and you want to love them for who they are, and you get along and you feel like you're on the same path in life, right? People who have same values. And values, it doesn't have to be something like really spiritual or anything. It could be like, you like the same type of comedy movies or you enjoy the same activities, right? um but so yeah, it's harder to make friends after school or outside of work. And I think this highlights the importance of being able to approach strangers and build up those skills so you can meet new people and develop relationships like we learn about in our fundamentals courses, right? In the Jaunty classes, we practice the skills to meet new people and create those relationships. And and I remember what it was like for me before I had these skills, right? I only had a handful of friends. I only had like 2 or 3 really close friends. And then out of a group of maybe like 12 people who hung out together. And it didn't, and then I ended up having a breakup. That's a story for another time, but I ended up having a breakup and then my friends chose sides because she was in the friend group. Man, was not good. Okay, so the other thing that he said that was cracking me the heck up. Oh no, there's 2 things. Okay, so one thing he says like girls make friends by going to the bathroom, which is fair point. I think it's funny. My girlfriends are always at the bar or whatever. They'll be meeting girls in the bar, but I don't necessarily think that turns into much unless they build up a connection through experiences and conversation. But I think there is this form of camaraderie that women have of like we're girls, we're together, we look out for each other. Versus men where they're especially in a bar environment where like a lot of the time it's really competitive because a lot of guys go to bars because they want to pick up chicks. They're there because girls are there. Otherwise they just be drinking at home with their friends, right? They're not necessarily trying to go out because they want to go out. It's like you go out because there are other people there. And I think men are mostly going there because they want to be around women and the chance to potentially meet one. Or meet new people, have fun. But like that's like I think that's like a 60% on the priority list when it comes to that. But yeah, and so women it's a little bit different, but women do have a hard time making friends too. And even if you go to the bar, even if you go to the bar and you're in the bathroom drunk and oh my gosh, what up girl, like doing I don't know whatever women do in the bathrooms. I mean, I only know based on what I've heard. So um but yeah, I think it still can be hard, right? And I remember my ex-girlfriend Carly was she had an issue, she didn't have an issue. She just like wanted to make new friends, and she was even in school, and it was just kind of more reserved and closed off and socially anxious a bit. And so she went to Bumble BFF. And this was the thing that was really, really making me laugh based on what this guy said. Bumble BFF. Okay, so it's a dating app for not dating purposes, but it's built and designed in the same way that a dating app is designed, because it is a dating app, right? It's Bumble. So you're looking through pictures, and you're looking through pictures and then reading text about that person. Okay, so you're going for a visual aspect, right? Whereas dating, it's definitely very visual, right? It's like you're looking, it's like, okay, like, do they have shiny hair? Do they have like clear skin? Do they got curves or muscles or whatever? Do they have friends? What's going on, right? When it comes to like platonic friendships, I think that's a little bit harder to judge, because you'll be friends with people you don't find attractive physically, right? You'll be friends with people, I mean, unless that's specifically what you're going for, right? You're trying to surround yourself with like attractive people. But you'll be friends with people that you don't find necessarily attractive. So what's the point of the picture part? And then you read a description, and the description rarely ever shows your personality, right? It's just you telling people how you are. And so that's a little hard, or like, I don't know if that's a great way to find people that you're interested in. I remember we did the Bumble BFF thing with my ex-girlfriend, and she met a girl. They hung out like twice. We all three hung out. We went to dinner or something, like very, very casually. And then like they hung out like one other time, two other times. They were friends on Facebook, but like they didn't become friends. And I think it was partially because they weren't really like, there was nothing really drawing them together that was outside of, okay, well, we both want friends. Yeah, you want friends, but you're not going to just be friends with somebody just because they want to be friends with you. You're going to be friends with somebody because you enjoy their company, because you have similar values, you have similar interests, because you like doing things together, right? Because you have great conversations, or you laugh together. So I think the Bumble BFF thing, the way he describes it sucks. He's like, I don't want to, or it's funny because he's like, it sucks. I don't want to like look at dudes all day. And I think he has one more thing to say.
I'll say, I meet new friends all the time. Just start talking to people wherever you're at. Yeah, right. Like I'll be in.
Yeah. You start talking to people. It's stupid to say be yourself, but like be your silly self. That talk about just like the things that you think about. The things that you think about, just you say them, and you approach people and you say those things that you think about, and they will get an idea of who you are, right? We oftentimes like to put our best foot forward, but in doing so, we tend to stifle our own opinions and our own thoughts, right? We censor ourselves to be upfront about what you think and what you believe. Like people will get who you are, right? Are you that crazy, UFO guy, or are you some, wacky comedian? Are you a poet? Are you introspective? Are you really into physical fitness, right? It doesn't matter if you like the same things that they like, or if you're the same type of person that they are. If you can express yourself, people will see who you are and see if they want to be around you, right? I love those Bigfoot UFO guys. I'm not necessarily a Bigfoot UFO guy myself, maybe like a little bit, maybe like 20%. But, I like spending a little bit of time with those dudes because they're entertaining, they're interesting, they bring a different perspective. And I think that's what we like about our friendships. And like going up to people and talking about the things that are going on in the world that you're both in, and being able to chit chat, that's an important skill, because then you can start to filter people out and see if there's people you want in your life, right? You're not trying to jump into theirs. You're trying to jump in, talk to them, and see if you want to bring them into your world.
Target, like, hey man, whole milk, huh? Want to come over and hang out? Well, it's 2021. He probably will show up, but I guarantee you he's going to want to do a lot more than just hang out. Girls really don't understand how different it is.
So he's like, he's thinking this dude's going to creep on him. That's happened to me, but it was pretty obvious, you know, so I think as long as you have good intentions here. Okay. Is there anything else? Any other videos? Okay. So here's the last video I wanted to end with. I think it's really funny.
2 days ago. This was from last night.
All right. So this guy. All right. So it's a dude in a car. Looks like he's wearing a muscle tank. And it says, me pulling up to the gym, seeing a 10 out of 10 girl and her man. And it's like some scrawny dude. He's like, what the heck?
What the fuck is that? So, seeing that.
Okay. So this dude is really confused about why the really hot girl would want to date the dude who doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or like, you know, ripped bodybuilder type. And I think, and this guy is actually replying to this, and I think he's going to spout a lot of what I'm saying or what I believe, which is your looks don't really matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're fat, you're bald, you're ugly, you're, you know, whatever, based on whose standards. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. It doesn't matter what your ethnic heritage is. As long as you're socially cool, right? As long as you're socially attractive, as long as you're emotionally healthy, as long as you're fun to be around, as long as you make somebody feel really good, you can attract somebody. Now, people have preferences, sure, right? I like brunettes more than I like blondes. But it doesn't mean that I won't go out with a blonde if she's really cool, right? Doesn't mean that I, you know, whatever. So what is this guy say? Oh, and also, yeah, the bodybuilders wanting to, I think, thinking that you have to look a certain way. You know, you go to the gym to get the pump or whatever so that you can attract girls. But like, I think the people that you're attracting are like more bodybuilders. Like, you're gonna get more interest from other bodybuilders than you are from yourself. And I think he's gonna say something like that.
That, right? As someone who lifts, okay, credentials. I'm still leaning down, but this is from like 2 days ago. This was from last night. Men need to stop getting in shape and lifting, thinking that they're going to get women. You're going to get a lot more male attention, which, you know, is nothing to complain about, but it's not what you're looking for, I guess, as a straight guy. You've only been shown the male gaze, right? What appeals to the male gaze? Masculinity, like traditionally buff men, is cool to you, and you think that's what women want, and it's not at all. And then when like a pretty e-boy guy with like a good sense of style pulls more women than you, it's confusing. Guys who are like open with their fashion sense, are more emotionally intelligent, paint their nails, little stuff like that, are appealing to the female gaze because they're attracted to females. Makeup too. I like makeup. Makeup's cool as shit. Ironically, you thinking they're sus because they're appealing to the female gaze is homoerotic.
That's interesting. I would say, you know, do whatever you like, and then you'll attract the people who like that too, right? You know, some women do really like muscular dudes and really masculine men who, you know, hairy chested, brawny men who are wielding axes, cutting wood, you know. And some women like the quote metrosexual, or like, you know, the really fashionable dude, or, you know, the softer, more sensitive type. And that's okay, right? It's just be you. Find out what you think, you know, do it for yourself, right? Work on your fashion sense for yourself. You know, find what you like. Work on your body for yourself. Find what you like. And then when you are happy with yourself, people notice that and they're attracted to it. Yeah, but don't think that you're gonna go to the gym and lift weights. It's like that joke about man, I remember seeing the memes about it's like the kid at youth group or after church who like wants to carry all the chairs to impress all the folding chairs to impress the girls. It's like, yeah, you think that's gonna like get their attention. And maybe it does, for the right person it might. But but it's like, yeah, girls, look at me. I can lift all these chairs. Look at me, I got the muscles. And I don't think that's necessarily the truth, right? So anyways, I will leave it at that. I think this was fun. I have some other ones in mind. We're gonna be talking about more about like social intelligence, social dynamics, and human behavior in the next one. And I got an article as well as some videos lined up. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed my internal dialogue and the discussion. Comment below. Comment on the Jaunty Gym if you're interested in discussing this more. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. Let's talk about this stuff. Leave like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these videos. Check out my TikTok. It's at Craig Ethan on TikTok. I hope to put out more of these soon, and we'll see you next time.